Hey, my name's Scott. I'm a commercial photographer based in the UK, and today we're going to discuss getting clients. Now, if you're a wedding photographer, this isn't really going to be of that much use to you, so bail out now. I'll do a separate video on that, but this is more for commercial photographers and people who want to really work in that advertising space of the photography world. If you want to be shooting big campaigns for big brands, this is for you. Now, if you're watching this video, I'm assuming you're either starting out or going through a rough patch at the moment where you're struggling with clients. And we're going to start at the very beginning for this. And the first thing we're going to focus on is our portfolios and our work. In photography, it's very important to have good work, but good work alone doesn't sell. We need to have a great website and a great portfolio. And it's so important to have the right portfolio. If you jump onto my website in the description below, you'll see that my website mirrors that of almost all other photographers in my niche. All of our websites look the same, and there is a good reason for this. We want to make sure that when the art buyers are going through the portfolios online, that when they go from one website to the next, that they all work and that they all look similar and that we can tell that none of us are out of date. If they jump onto your website and they can't work out how to scroll through the images, it is of no use to them. They'll just click off straight away. Finding a photographer is a real panic purchase. It's the last thing on the list a lot of the time. So it's really important that it's just easy to use. So if you've got some oddball website design which you think is great, but it doesn't look like the rest of the people or the rest of your peers, sack that off and copy them. I know everyone wants to be original, everyone wants to be creative, but the people looking at your website, they just want everything to work. And for me, I went for a big grid system, and this grid shows you all of my work in one shot, and then you can dive into it and sort of have a look around. Now, my website's a good year and a half out of date now, but I have a current list of clients that I'm regularly working with, and it is on my very big to-do list to update it. So do as I say, not as I do. Okay, so my next tip is networking. Now, I'm sure if you've been in business for any amount of time, or if you've ever worked for a small business, you'd have heard of breakfast clubs and networking events. I hate them, but they're very important when you're starting out. You probably won't find commercial clients at these events, but what you will find is people who know them. So for example, I shoot all over Europe throughout the course of the year. I don't network or approach anyone outside of my little bubble. But the thing is, the people that I meet, they'll talk to somebody else, or talk to somebody else, or perhaps somebody over in Italy will say we need a photographer. We don't normally work with photographers. It's something new that our agency is bringing in. They'll ask their friend who's worked with the photographer, do you know anybody? No, but I know somebody who might. And through some bizarre turn of events, you end up on a flight to Madrid. Now, it seems really far-fetched, but it really isn't. It happens to me all the time. I get bookings from the most bizarre links of people who happen to know each other. I've even got links from people I've bumped into on the train before where they've gone, oh, bumped into this person on the train, got chatting, followed each other on Instagram, went to a meeting. They needed a photographer for somebody else. And I just went, oh, I just met this person. They're really nice. Here we go. So networking is key. If you're doing no networking at the moment, start networking once a week. Just go to a networking event, join a breakfast club. It will give you the biggest acceleration of client growth from standing still to getting going. Now, it won't work for you forever. I don't go to networking events anymore because I don't have the time. And there's a lot of clients in there that I no longer want to work with, I was getting from it. So I've got a very specific little bubble that I want to stay within now. But when you're starting out, get to those networking events, put the groundwork in. Do not go there on a hard sale. Go there to help people. Go there to be friendly. Make friends. Go drinking with people. Go out for lunch with people. Try and just be that good person. Be who you are. Don't try and pretend to be something else. Just get out there, socialize. And the networking isn't selling. It's just making links and making connections. If you can help them out, help them out. If there's a company who you know you don't want to work for, will never be able to afford your services, and they might need some photography, go and give them some free photography. They're never going to spend the money anyway, but perhaps they've got friends who will. Or perhaps you could use it as a case study. Try and be creative in how you think about these things. Okay, now let's talk about the dreaded social media. If you're not using it, you need to start using it. For commercial photographers who want to shoot ad campaigns, Instagram is king. Sack off Facebook. Don't bother using it for anything apart from personal networking. Stick to Instagram. I don't think LinkedIn's particularly useful. I don't know anyone who gets work through LinkedIn apart from perhaps headshot photographers. But get on Instagram and use it to showcase your work. Use your grid to post your portfolio to it. Every day have a new image going up. On my stories, I post all the behind the scenes stuff. My lighting setups, my shots, my shoots, my prop sourcing, my location scouting. That all goes on Instagram so people can see the trouble I go to, the in-depth approach I have to my work and how I put things together. I also find photographers find it interesting because they can see all the sneaky little things as pros do to get that shot exactly how we want it. So get on Instagram, get posting, but don't just post. Don't set up some automated system to do your posts for you. Get on there, find the people you want to work with, engage with them. Don't make a sale pitch. Don't tell them I'm a photographer. Just engage. Just be like a normal person. Be polite, have a chat, and engage in what they're into. So the big one for commercial photographers is getting in touch with ad agencies. Now, ad agencies are the people who work between us and the brands. So in my instance, there'll be the brand, they'll hire the ad agency. The ad agency will speak to my agent will speak to me. We'll have a chat about what we do and don't want to do. He will negotiate between the agency and myself. The agency and the client will talk. And then if all the ducks align, we have a job. Getting in touch with agencies is really important. And here's the best way I've found to do it. Number one is you send them an email explaining what you are, who you are, what you do. Very short, nobody can be bothered to read your life story. So for example, my name's Scott. I'm a commercial food photographer. I specialize in shooting print campaigns, point of sale, whatever it is that you're doing. I have worked with the following clients on worldwide campaigns, national campaigns, whatever it may be. If it's just local campaigns, put local campaigns. That's absolutely fine. Don't oversell yourself. They will see right through it. And then you go, here's a link to my portfolio. I'd love to talk to you. A week later, if you've heard nothing, make a quick phone call and say, send my portfolio across, blah, blah, blah. Love to sit down with you, take you for coffee, whatever it may be. Do you have time? And they'll say yes or no. If they say no worries. I'll be in touch, some other time. Give it 6 months, try them again. They will not remember you. They don't. They get contacted by loads of people. Just crack on. But whatever you do, don't turn up unannounced at their door. It is incredibly annoying. I have people turn up at my studio unannounced or going, I'm on my way to your studio to come and talk to you about something. It ruins my day because I might be busy doing this and all of a sudden I've got to stop to go and answer the door. And then I get caught in a conversation for half an hour and I've just lost half an hour of my work time, which then means I'm getting home half an hour later, which for me, not good. My last tip for this video is consistency and turning up. And this goes across all of these things. On social media, be consistent, consistently put out content, always be there, always be turning up. You need to show people that you are always there, that this is what you do. You're fully committed to this idea of being a photographer. If you have a full-time job going on at the same time as trying to do this and build it up so you can eventually swap them out, it is incredibly difficult. But there are things you can do. Wake up an hour earlier. Don't watch Netflix in the evening. Spend that time planning your work. You just need to be really productive. And you need to really put that effort in to go, well, do you know what? Whilst this person sat there reading camera reviews, I'm busy marketing. I'm busy doing test shoots. I'm busy putting my portfolio and my website together. I'm building a mailing list on MailChimp. Whatever it may be, make sure you're doing it and you're consistently doing it. I see loads of photographers who will have a sudden splurt of activity going, well, I've got no work, quick, get some work. And then they disappear for a month when they've got a few jobs. Then they run out of jobs, they run out of money, and off they go again. They're running and they tail off. You've got to find a balance where you can maintain that level of being there, of being in people's view and just letting people see what you're doing. And I think whatever you can sustain whilst you're doing a full-time 9-to-5 job is a good amount, because that's all you'll be able to sustain once you're being a photographer. Because although all of this stuff is part of photography, whilst you're doing your day job, you'll now be shooting or editing. So this stuff here, you have to be able to maintain it, but it has to be consistent. You've got to keep turning up, keep showing up and show people that you're serious, you're committed, and this is what your life is. Your life is being a photographer. If you start posting Instagram stories up about your car, and it's like, well, what are you interested in, photography or cars? Because to be really good at something, you've got to have extreme tunnel vision, and that should be all you're seeing. For me, my hobby or my side passion, as it were, is cycling. And I try and rein that in a little bit because although it's what I use to switch off, it is not my main passion. My main passion is photography and is doing this. I hope these tips are of use to you. It's reasonably vague at this stage, but what I'm going to do is dial down into each point in later videos and give you some really in-depth examples and perhaps even some downloadable content where you can go, right, here's an email template. Here is how I'm going to get to these people. So if this is something that you'd like to learn about, do subscribe and I'll get those videos up in the next month.